Now, from CBS 4 News, this is Facing South Florida with Jim DeFede.
Welcome to Facing South Florida. I'm Jim DeFede, and anyone who knows me knows just how much I love NASCAR. Days of Thunder, obviously Tom Cruise's best movie ever. And as I'm sure you all know, today is the Daytona 500, the granddaddy of all stock car races. Now later in the show, we will look at how a South Florida state senator working with a NASCAR lobbyist got a multi-million-dollar tax break slipped into an 89-page bill designed to help working families.
So basically, this is a multi-million-dollar tax subsidy. Basically, it's corporate welfare for billionaires.
But we begin with Republican State Representative Danny Perez, who is in line to be Speaker of the House in just 2 years. We cover a lot of ground, including affordable housing. But we began with the recent special session on Disney, which had their taxing district threatened because Disney dared to criticize the governor over the so-called Don't Say Gay bill last year.
This was not about Disney per se. This was making sure that accountability was put in place for the special district in the Disney area. That's what this was about. I think we accomplished that in this bill. All right, Jim, then I'm going to ask you this question. At the time that special district was dismembered and other special districts were also dismembered, i.e. water management districts, what's your reason for the dismemberment of the other special districts that weren't in Disney? You're going to blame those on the governor coming after Disney as well? No,
I'm going to say I would.
You can't. Jim, that's a stretch. Let's get down to the facts. Why was that done? That's the real question that should be asked. Why was that done? Well, it was done because we believe that accountability has to take place in special district. Disney, Reedy Creek being one of those. And we did that in this bill. Let's talk about what the bill did. What did this bill do? Well, amongst many things, we made sure that the 5 appointees or the board members of the special district were, yes, appointed by the governor, but that's the only talking point that's being thrown out to the media. What about the part where the Senate has to approve this, where the Republicans and the Democrats that are senators, state senators in the state of Florida, appointed by their constituents, voted by their constituents to be in this position, where they have to ask questions, have debate, and make sure that these 5 board members all get approved by the Senate. The accountability. There are plenty of those examples, and those examples, Jim. 2 things. I'm gonna start with the beginning of your the premise of your question. Nowhere in the bill does it say that only a Republican governor will appoint these 5 board positions. It just says simply the governor. Nowhere in the bill does it say only if the majority of the Senate is Republican will the appointment process be ratified by the Senate. It doesn't say that. The day that there is a Democratic governor, the day that there is a majority in the Senate that is ran by the Democrats, the bill will stay the same. Are we going to fight like hell as Republicans for that never to happen? Absolutely. But this isn't a partisan bill. It simply says the governor, regardless if it's a Republican or a Democrat, will have that ability. It doesn't say that this is a DeSantis bill, but the narrative is so sexy to talk about that we get off the facts. And we got to go back to the actual facts. What's on the paper? What is in the bill? What is being voted on? It doesn't say anywhere in there that this is only for Governor Ron DeSantis. And there are many conversations, there are many bills that have changed from the inception of the bill to the final product. That's what the process is for. Can I go back and tell you this bill number and that bill number might have changed the policy through an amendment? I don't have the bill numbers here, but you know very well that Look, here's what I can tell you. We support the governor. The governor has done a phenomenal job. There aren't over 1,000 people moving to Florida a day because Governor Ron DeSantis is doing a poor job. Quite the opposite. He's done a phenomenal job. The policies have worked. What has happened in the legislature over the last several years has worked. COVID policies, they worked. Our businesses, they were open. Our schools were open. It worked. So to say that it's a bad thing that the legislature and the governor have been working together, I'm going to fight back on that a little, Jim. I think it's been for the betterment of the majority of Florida. Yeah, Jim, and this is such an important topic. One, I think we can agree for all of Florida, but especially in South Florida, affordable housing, workforce housing are important topics. One of the greatest disappointments that I've had as of late is I'm seeing the younger generation born in Miami, raised in Miami, going to school in Miami, wanting to start their careers and their families in Miami, have to pick up and leave because they can't afford it. It's sad to me. I want to make sure that people stay home, that people can grow their families in our own communities in Westchester, where I grew up, where my parents still live today. I don't want for people to have to leave because it's impossible to be able to rent an apartment on Bird Road and 87th Avenue. That hurts me. It does. The bill has a lot of those solutions. There's a lot of money that we are reallocating to the efforts of workforce housing. We want people that are starting their careers and people that aren't financially able to have a home, to make sure that we get them across the finish line. Hometown heroes, we did $100 million last year. First responders that are trying to find their first home, we are helping them with that down payment. And obviously we put some guardrails on there. But the important part is we took care of our teachers. The important part is that the funding, not only is it coming back, because we've been chipping away at affordable housing for a while, in a good way, in a positive way, to make sure that we're moving the needle in the right direction.
When we come back, we continue the conversation as well as talk about the likelihood of new abortion restrictions in Florida. Stay with us.